Hello, YouTube Success Podcast. It's Matt Hughes, the creator and founder of the YouTube Success Podcast. I thought I'd come along and give you an episode because I think I did about 4 episodes in 2025, and I'll explain why in a second. I've also got 2 gifts for you at the end of this episode, and this is going out on the 1st of January because what I want to ask you today is, what are you going to do different with YouTube this year? What's going to be your plan this year? I know everybody has a new year, new me. I'm very well versed on that. As a 42-year-old, there's plenty of new year, new me's that I've tried in the past. But I thought I'd give you a little bit of a history of the podcast and sort of the direction we want to go this year. And hopefully, when I explain this to you, it will give you some confidence that you can decide to get back on the horse if you want to. This podcast started a couple of years ago now. I think it was 2023. And you'll see if you go back and watch the episodes, for 6 months solid, I posted every single week without fail. There was consistent action that happened. And I think actually that's probably why we ended up with as many downloads as we have. We've had 20,000 plus downloads. Most of the episodes now are 1,000 plus downloads, which I'm really happy with. As a podcast, that makes it a pretty good podcast. But of course, over the last year, 18 months, I just haven't posted consistently. After a certain period, when we did those 6 months, literally on like episode 26, we're on episode, 38 or something now. We've done like 12. I've done 12 in the last 18 months, which is not a lot at all, really, once a month. So I want to change that. And I think one thing to focus on here is that you can just decide to change. I know I've tried to restart this podcast maybe 2 or 3 times, but I've got a real consistent plan here, and I'm going to dedicate my consistency to that first 26 episodes that we did and say, let's just go back and do this again. And hopefully, with what I'm about to tell you, you can come along and join the journey. The reason why I only posted 3 or 4 last year, it's a really strange one because I was so consistent in other parts of my life at the start of last year, right up until sort of the end of February. And we had the worst financial year, really the worst year in business ever. In the last 15 years of running businesses, we hit as far bottom as you could possibly go. It's a very difficult time. There were a lot of tears at the start of this year. And we've managed to turn it around. We got July, August time, we started to turn things around. And we're finishing this year on a high. In fact, so high that we're going to America for 8 days, Las Vegas and New York for 4 days each. And we're going to have the New Year's Eve in New York. And at the start of this year, I couldn't even imagine going on holiday anywhere, let alone to America for 8 days. Really has been a low and high year. And that meant things like this were just not a priority. Well, my priority, to be honest with you, and I can be honest and vulnerable here because there's not a massive amount of people that listen to these podcasts at this point, even though I'm saying about the 20,000 plus. It's the lowest I've ever felt as a human being, I think. As a business person, as a human being, as a content creator, all of those things. It's really funny because in the middle of the year, I went to there's a guy called Robin Waite who's actually a speaker at TubeFest in 2026. He's a business coach, for want of a better phrase or better title. And he showed this graph, and the graph was like a heartbeat. If you've ever seen the line of a heartbeat, it goes down and then up really high and then back down and then settles. So it's like boop, boop, right? That's how it happens. We were just in that bottom part. He showed that in business, you have these things maybe every 3 years. I hope it's not every 3 years. I don't want to go through that again. But we were at that bottom part and we had to just reassess everything. My finances, we got these like spreadsheet of finances, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to explain that to you because when stuff like that happens, being consistent and showing up and doing all the things, being on camera, it doesn't feel like a very easy thing to do. You want to show up and be the Instagram version of you and the highlight reel and be positive, but I didn't really have a lot to be positive about, or I certainly didn't think I did. Actually, in reality, retrospectively, when I look at the last year, we've ran TubeFest number 2, and we just managed to get over the line. And I'll tell you something now. This time last year, in December, towards the end of December last year, we actually agreed never to run it again. We said we were going to kill it and we couldn't find the money to run it. So we agreed as a team, we were like, we're just going to have to not do it. We're going to have to suck up the finances. You know, a bunch of people paid for tickets. We had no sponsors. I just couldn't see the way forward. We were trying to pay a member of staff that we've got and pay ourselves and stay above water. And what happened is we agreed as a team that we were going to kill it and we were just going to go and tell everybody. And then we had Christmas, and I remember sitting there and I'm like, Tube Fest, I don't know how much I've talked about Tube Fest on this podcast, but Tube Fest for me is an event for content creators to get together as a community, right? Like, often people say to me, Matt, you don't sell anything at Tube Fest. And I'm like, it's because it's not about me. I don't do a presentation. I do a keynote. I open the event, so to speak, and I introduce a few people and that kind of thing. But it's not about me. It's about the content creators that are sat at home listening to the podcast like you guys are now, and they don't get to hang out with other cool content creators. They don't get to talk to people that understand what being a content creator is about and what effort it takes, and the downsides to it and the upsides to it, and how to do brand deals and all those kind of things. Like, it's about all of those things. It's not about me. It's about the people, the community that come to it. The sponsors that we get are people that understand that's what we're trying to do in the UK. We don't have it in the UK. There's things like Creator Fest. No disrespect to Creator Fest. When I go there, I know that the people are the product. Like, you get that. It doesn't feel like the kind of vibe that I'm trying to get to. If I go to Vid Summit, I feel like it's about the content creators. That's the way it is. I feel like they're trying to create something about the people, and that's exactly what I'm doing with Tube Fest. By the way, I say that about Creator Fest. I really enjoyed it this year. I did enjoy it. It's in October. It's in July next year. I'm not here to promo Creator Fest. They're technically a competition, but I don't really believe in competition with these kind of things. I think we all should support each other. If we really are truly doing these things for the content creators, then we're all supporting each other, really. I did really enjoy it this year. I made some great connections. So it's definitely another event for creators that you should go to. But going back to Tube Fest, I remember sitting there in January. Creator Fest is a big organisation. They've got finances, they run other events, and they've been doing this for years. So I don't even look at them as like competition in the real sense, because I'm not anywhere near competition with those guys. But I feel like the purpose of it is the same. That's what I'm talking about, really. And I sat there over Christmas and in January, and I said to the team, I went back to them after Christmas, I said, look, I'm sure we can pull this off. If we can just find a bunch of sponsors to help us with that, sell a few more tickets, we can pull this off and keep it going and keeping it alive. And so we put everything into doing that, and we managed to get, I think it was 6 sponsors in the end. We got this amazing book. There's a guy called Justin Moore who does this book the book's called Sponsor Magnet. I know Justin, but known Justin for a while now. He was a guest expert on an event we did years ago called Digital Marketing Rockstars. It was during COVID. Justin's a brilliant guy. I saw him speaking Vid Summit, and he sponsored us. He sent over, I think, 200 of his books. We got to give that to all the attendees. I've still got about 50 of them. We're going to give them away with anyone that buys a ticket in January. We're going to give them away for that as well, the rest of them that we've got. And it's such a great book because it helps creators get better brand deals, right? Better brand deals, approach people, get more sponsors and stuff. Anyway, look, again, this is not about Justin, but he's a great guy, and I really do like that book. But we got people like Justin sponsored. We got Licked, who are an audio company. We got Book Magic. We got High Level, who are sponsoring loads of great events at the moment. All of these sponsors that we got just helped us get it over the line. I was so excited about it. So even though I describe it as the worst year in business, when I reflect and retrospectively think about this, we managed to pull off Tube Fest. And now as we move into next year, into 2026, I can see the best year in business coming. Tube Fest 3 is going to be phenomenal. We've got a workshop day. We've got Ecamm coming over from the US. They're bringing Creator Camp, which is their big US event. They're doing that in the UK for the first time. They've got 7 people speaking. They've got 7 people with them. So we've got a workshop day the day before. We've got a party in the evening, a welcome reception / party, which I'm really excited about. We've sold 100 tickets already. So I'm really excited about it. I've just gone through all the speaker applications. We've got some brilliant speakers this year. And the other thing about Tube Fest that I like to do that's slightly different is we bring some really varied speakers, just complete random it feels like random stories, but when you see it together as an event, like I know you could come as a creator that's just getting started or thinking about getting started, and you could be a 1 million+ subscriber, follower creator, and you'll still get loads of value from it because the stories, the people that are delivering the sessions are just going to be brilliant. Absolutely so excited for the sessions, myself as well as a content creator. We also ran Festival of AI. So Festival of AI was in October. That was our first profitable conference. So 2Fest this year was, or last year is the time you're listening to this, was we broke even again, which is the second year running we broke even, which I've been told is a good thing. Events, often you don't make a lot of money at the start. Festival of AI was our first profitable conference, which I was really super keen to make sure we could run a profitable event. I know in 2026, we've already got some brilliant sponsors on board. 2Fest next year will be profitable as well, which means we can start doing more cool stuff. Just like the party the night before, we can start doing more cool stuff. Very excited about that. I will finish this year on a high. We'll be celebrating in Vegas and New York as well. So what about the gifts then, Matt? Get on with it. I just wanted to give you some history of where we are, and I wanted to give you some history of the podcast, right? So those two things, and why I think this podcast is going to be so important in 2026. So every speaker that I have, this 2Fest, we're going to interview them for the podcast. So whether they're creator, whether they're business, like however they have been successful, I want to talk about that on this podcast. So we're going to do that, and that's going to happen at the first week of January. So I'm going to have them all lined up in the 16 weeks to 2Fest. When this comes out, there'll be just over 16 weeks left. So you're going to get those on this podcast. That's why I think you should stick around and keep downloading these podcasts. The Jenny Hoyas, I can never say her surname properly, but her episode is now the most popular episode. So I know you guys like these interviews. I know it's good to hear from creators that are actually smashing it, and we're going to get those on here, which means I can commit to saying that this podcast will have new episodes every week. And I'm really excited about that because I do feel like with all of you people that are listening, that are coming to give your time here to this podcast, you should get new content, and we're going to deliver that for you. I always say we, by the way, because we as a team, as a business, even though our team is much smaller than it used to be. And before I give you the two gifts that I've got for you that I think will help you going into the new year, I want you just to think about being really intentional with your own content creation. Really intentional. What can you do now? It's January the 1st. What can you do now to make commitments for the rest of the year? I know a lot of people talk about New Year, New Me, and they're quite negative in the way they talk about it. I don't want you to listen to those people. Why can't you start on January the 1st? Why can't you start the first week of January and decide that's going to be the year? It's just another day, right? Like time and dates and all that is a social construct. We know we just made it up as human beings, but why can't it just be the day you decide? Because you need that kind of intentional, focused mode to move forward positively. And you might do that in February, you might do that in November. Maybe you're listening to this episode at a different time than I publish it, and that's fine too. Just decide and get on the horse and go and doing it. And I just want you to consider, let me know in the comments on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can do one of the two things I'm about to give you. The first thing I'm going to give you, I've been vibe coding. So I mentioned that I did the Festival of AI in October. Obviously, I've got into AI. It's brought in back my IT roots. I'm really excited about this. And I've been vibe coding. If you don't know what vibe coding is, it's like talking to ChatGPT or whatever, or Gemini, whatever AI that you prefer. And instead of getting results that are like copy results or images or that kind of thing, it builds an app for you instead. So you can say, I would like an app for events and it needs to have these features, and it will go and build that for you in a really nice way. And that is so exciting, right? So I built a couple of apps, and I'm going to give you one of them now. So one of them is called The Win Jar. And the story behind this, the link is in the description or the show notes. The story behind the Win Jar is I went to an event about 8 years ago, something like that. And it was like a little mastermind with maybe 10, 12 people. And I wanted to take a gift to them. And I spoke to my wife's really creative. And she said, oh, there's this little thing I've seen on CEO Instagram or something like that. Like, we could give them little jars, buy these little jars, and they can put Post-it notes and put the wins for the year. And then if they do that for the whole year, by the end of the year, they can see all of the wins they've had throughout the year, okay? Which I thought was so brilliant. And I've met a couple of people that are at that event. And a few people have said to me, oh, Matt, I kept that win jar. It was really exciting at the end of the year to open them and see how many things I've done. So the winjar.com is a digital version of that, basically. So I vibe coded it. It's great. It's got beautiful user interface and everything. And you go and sign up for it. It's totally free. You can sign up for the premium version as well, but there's a totally free version. And that free version allows you to track 3 wins a day, I think. 3 wins a day? Yeah, I think that's the case. So the free version, like that. What it will do is it will send you an email and say, hey, don't forget to put your wins in. So at 9 p.m. you get an email and it tells you that. The premium version, you can change the times it reminds you and all that kind of stuff as well. But it's just about tracking your wins. And for me, now you know the story of what I've went through this year, I just wanted a way to remind myself about the wins, because when things were bad during this year, I needed to maintain the position, the mental positivity and optimism that I usually have, that I have most of the time. I needed to maintain that, and something like the wind jar would have been really helpful. So I wanted to do that and give it as a gift to the world. Of course, there's a premium version if we can make some money as well, great, but really is a altruistic kind of thing, really, in some ways. And then the second thing is, in the link in the description, I've got a WhatsApp community that is free, right? Now I'm going to try this out. I'm not going to say it's going to be there forever. I'm going to try it out, see what happens with you guys. I'm only going to offer it to you guys on the podcast. If you listen to the podcast all the time and saying like, how can we get feedback? How can we connect to each other? All that kind of stuff. Because we just don't know who listens to the podcast. So the WhatsApp community is a free community. It's just for the YouTube Success Podcast. So when you click on it and join it, it will say YouTube Success Podcast. There'll be an announcements thing, which is one way. So it's me saying, hey, here's a new podcast episode. I think it's a great way to be notified for that kind of thing as well. And then also be a community, a general chat community that you can join, and you can talk to each other. Basically, you can connect with other creators. If you're listening to this podcast, the other people that are listening to it as well, you probably want to be part of the same group of people, right? Because we're all on the same path. We're all trying to make it on YouTube and do good stuff. So the WhatsApp community is just there, and it's just it's an easy way to commit to something. And if I'm posting the new podcast episodes there and the announcements every week, maybe that's just a bit of encouragement to you to say, hey, have you done your YouTube video yet? Go and get it done. So they're the 2 gifts I've got for you. And hopefully you can be there and hold me accountable as well. Matt, where's the podcast episode? I don't think I'll need it. I can be flaky with my own commitments, but with this one, I'm very sure. You can't prep really, can you, for fire alarms? What just happened is my fire alarm went off, so I don't know where I was, but I know I was wrapping up anyway. So all that's left to say is that Happy New Year. I hope you had a great Christmas. Come and join us in the WhatsApp community. I'm really excited to see some of you grow on YouTube this year. I know if you be intentional, if you decide to take the action and actually do the work, this new year, new me as a content creator can be massive for you. So I'm here for it. I'm here for you. Hope to see you at 2Fest in 2026. And my name's Matt Hughes. This is the YouTube Success Podcast. I'll see you every week this year. Bye-bye for now.